What's going on, everyone? It's Jacqueline here from Nothing But Tech. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we're talking about one of my favorite smartphones of 2018, the OnePlus 6. Alright, so you've probably heard a lot about the OnePlus 6. It's been a while. I did a first impressions video where I covered my initial thoughts on it. But now I kind of want to discuss further whether I think it's worth the buy, keeping in mind its price tag, because you've all already heard the specs and the main things about it. So I just want to give you my experience with it. And kind of keep it like that. I'm not going to go through specs and everything because I think you probably already know it. So in this video, I want to discuss 6 categories: performance, build, battery, camera, screen, and extras. So I feel like those categories, if you excel in every single one of them, you have a great smartphone on your hands. And I think that the OnePlus 6 excels in almost every single one of these. So let's start. In terms of build, it looks like a 2018 phone, but it doesn't follow all of the trends of a 2018 phone. So what I mean by that is it has a notch, which is pretty 2018. You either love the notch or you hate the notch. OnePlus knows that some users hate the notch. So in their settings, they turned on something where you can turn it on and it'll have virtual bezels, so it kind of just makes the phone look like it has a normal forehead and a normal chin. But I personally don't really mind the notch. It's probably because I've been using the iPhone X for a while, so I've kind of gotten used to it. I obviously prefer no notch. I kind of like the way Samsung does it with the S8 better, where they just have like thin bezels. I think it looks a lot cleaner. But that's kind of what you get. So you got a pretty large screen that's still one-handable in your hand. And you also get a really, really nice looking screen. So it's sharp. It looks great for videos. It has the 2018 aspect ratio as well. So you're going to need to punch in on videos that aren't supportive of that type of content. So that's like most videos, unless you're watching like a TLD video or some other creators that have really adapted that 18:9 aspect ratio. And the other thing to note is that there is a little bit of a chin on the bottom. Unlike the iPhone X, OnePlus kind of does what a lot of other Android smartphones with notches do. It has a mini chin, so I would love to not have that there. You get used to it though. This phone is definitely still very manageable, so it doesn't really bother me too much. Overall, the screen is definitely something I like. In direct sunlight, sometimes I find it a little hard to see. Like I can see it, but it's not like amazing. But it will be able to get by, and in regular lighting conditions, it is more than okay. Continuing on with the build, it looks 2018 because of the notch, but the back, although it's glass, isn't 2018. Like, they did a unique thing here. So in the matte black color, even though it's glass, it doesn't really look like that glass back. So it looks a lot different than other phones on the market. And also the glossy, like, piano black finish kind of has like a ceramic feel to it. So it feels really good in the hand. It doesn't feel like any other smartphone on the market, which I kind of like. It's easy to grip, it picks up fingerprints for sure, but it's really, really stunning when you keep it clean. And OnePlus just launched a new red color, and it looks hot. Like honestly, if you're buying the phone now, that is the color I would get. Other things to note about the build is it still has the alert slider, which is kind of unique to OnePlus. I find it really helpful. It has USB Type-C, and it still has a headphone jack. So this is a little controversial. Some people were kind of mad that OnePlus kept it on because it keeps people wanting the headphone jack, and then we don't move forward to a wireless feature. I'm personally happy though, because I know a lot of consumers love the headphone jack, so I don't really use it. I use Bluetooth almost all the time now. But there are, even if there's like 5 times where you use it, it's kind of nice to have. Like if you're only using it 5 times a year, let's say, those are 5 times that the headphone jack made your life easier. So I'm happy to see it there. OnePlus really listens to its consumers. They wanted it, they kept it. So happy to see that. Build feels pretty good in the hand though. So for $549, this phone's build stacks up to phones that are significantly more expensive. It does have Oxygen OS as the skin on top of Android, but it's a really light skin, and the only things it really adds are actually really helpful. Oxygen OS is my favorite skin on any device like that doesn't just use stock Android. So it's going to look a lot like stock Android, but it's going to provide useful things like do not disturb while gaming and stuff like that. All the little stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think you need, but once you have, it's really convenient. The phone is really fast, so it has some of the best specs on the market. Again, I'm not really going to discuss that, but it flies through things. You can multitask on it. You can do intensive games. You can do light games. You can watch a bunch of videos. It's a really, really good phone, and it doesn't really drain the battery too much. Like the battery on the OnePlus 6 is one of the best batteries on the market. I find myself getting like 5 hours of screen on time sometimes. So I was really impressed with it. This is the kind of phone that I would take with me to go if I knew that I wouldn't have a charger for like 12 hours. Like I'm really, really happy with it. And continuing on with the battery, it still provides dash charging, which is OnePlus's version of fast charging. But it's really fast. You can get like a ton of charge in just 15 minutes if you're using the OnePlus charger. So that's another pro to the battery life. It doesn't have wireless charging, but I feel like dash charging kind of makes up for it. Wireless charging is a really nice convenience, and I found that in my studio and stuff, I can just place my phone down on a wireless charge pad and it saves some time, but it's definitely not a necessity. And I would take dash charging and fast charging over wireless charging any day of the week right now, as wireless charging is not that fast. All right, so it's been pretty positive so far, and I'm gonna keep that positive trend going with the camera. I did a full comparison with the iPhone 10, a blind test, and a lot of you guys picked the OnePlus 6 over the iPhone 10, which is like double the price. So that was really surprising. I'm really impressed with the camera. The only downfalls that I find it has is sometimes it overexposes the image, and additionally, sometimes it doesn't do that great in low light. Like, it makes the image very orange. As the lights get lower and lower, it becomes more and more saturated and less appealing. But it does have a really great portrait mode. A lot of you guys love the portrait picture that came out of this camera. So if you're interested in seeing more camera samples, I'm gonna leave a link to that video in the description down below so you can check it out, give me your thoughts on it, come back to this video and let me know. But overall, the camera on this phone, the fact that it's able to compete with phones that are hundreds of dollars more expensive, really speaks to how much this phone is worth. Like, it's pretty expensive now. OnePlus has been getting progressively more and more expensive as time has gone on. $549 is definitely not a cheap phone anymore, but it performs like phones that are $800, $900, $1,000, and that's really good to see. The extras, it doesn't have too many things that are extra or good about it. It has a couple things. It's got face unlock, which isn't that secure. Like, it's come out that you can trick it with a picture, but it's really convenient. So if you're not into too much security, like if no one's gonna be printing out a picture of your face to try to unlock your phone, you should be okay. And it's really fast. It's also got the dash charging, as I already mentioned, and little software add-ons like that, alongside support for new versions of Android that should be coming to the phone very quickly. This is one of the only phones that is supporting the beta of the new version of Android, so that's exciting to see. And I think that the OnePlus 6 really has a great future. And I think that if you buy a OnePlus phone, you're buying into a vision of a smaller company that is really catering to its customers. And you're also buying into a network of like-minded individuals. Like, if you buy a OnePlus 6, there's a ton of forums on it on cool software things that you can do and stuff like that. So you're part of a community when you buy the phone. And I think that that's really an interesting thing, because with a lot of other phones, there's not that much of a community vibe like there is with OnePlus, talking directly to the people that are making the phone to give your feedback, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the OnePlus 6. Overall, I couldn't really find too many things to not like about it. The only things that I really could think of were that the speakers were not great and they were really easy to cover up. And the screen was not too bright in direct sunlight, at least in my experience. But those were two flaws that definitely did not taint the entire experience for me. Like, this was a really, really nice phone to use. And it's a really easy phone to recommend to anyone because it's got a really competitive price point and it will give you a really nice experience for years and years and years. So that's it. Let me know what you think of the OnePlus 6 in the comments down below. I really enjoyed my time with it. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you're wondering about the background behind me and some other shots in this video, stay tuned because I got some really exciting news for you guys. It's coming in an episode very soon. Thank you for watching. Subscribe right here. Check out my other content right here. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.